reside. And tonight they take on the longtime kingpin, the Louisville Cardinals. We are live from Fogelman Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana. To further underscore the importance of this game, Louisville is unbeaten in league play, while the Green Wave coming off a heart-wrenching loss to North Carolina Charlotte. But Dean Smith, who plays in palatial Freedom Hall, has had tremendous success here. In his career, he is 10-1. And with the kind of players that he's had through the years, you can understand why the great success. Tonight, he has a vintage Louisville team that has won 6 straight and 11 of their last 12. Working with me tonight is Special K, Clark Kellogg. I think you'll agree he's got all that you have to have in the arsenal, particularly given the big man transfer Clifford Rozier.
He has had 8 double-doubles in his last 9 games. He is the top glass eater in the Metro Conference. Certainly the Green Wave must find an answer for Clifford Rozier.
The answer may in fact be this environment, this atmosphere, this cracker box they play in, particularly considering the style of defense Perry Clark likes to employ.
You're exactly right, Tim. This atmosphere conducive to the pressing, pulsating pace that the Green Wave want to establish. It reminds me of summer league games in the hood. It's sweaty, it's hot, the people are right on top of you. It should be a lot of fun.
I'm glad to have you as my neighbor. Stay with us when we come back. The starting lineup as we return to Metromania in New Orleans. 4 seasons for Perry Clark to turn a dormant program into a top 20 team. And the K-Swiss starting lineup that the Green Wave will be facing tonight in the form of the Louisville Cardinals looks this way. Dwayne Morton will be a key player along the wing for this team that loves to run. In a way, Tulane style plays into the hands of Louisville.
Dwayne Morton, 55% shooting from behind the arc, an outstanding all-around player, one of the major concerns for Perry Clark and his squad.
Now in his 22nd year, Denny Crum got his 500th career victory back on January 7th. 6 trips to the Final Four and 2 titles. The Tulane Green Wave will rely heavily on Pointer Williams. He runs at a different speed, a different key, if you will, than just about everyone else on the floor. It will be his play tonight that will be the catalyst for the Green Wave.
Most folks go at 45 RPM. Pointer goes at 78.
Perry Clark, one of the more marketable coaches in the country that Tulane would love to hold on to for many, many more years. Series history dominated by Louisville, as is the case throughout the Metro Conference through the years. But since Perry Clark got here, they've been more competitive, and they've not only won here, but they've won at Freedom Hall in Louisville. So we're talking about a different level of Tulane since Clark got here. Opening tip, control to the Green Wave. 3 outstanding officials tonight: Jim Burr, Don Rutledge, and Dick Paparo. Anthony Reed with a fadeaway that won't go. Cleared by Greg Minor.
One of the keys for the Green Wave, not only do they have to challenge the initial shot, but Louisville's offense often starts on the backboards and getting to the offensive glass.
Troy Smith with the first hoop, and Pointer Williams turns it over. Perry Clark has done a pretty good job of settling Williams down, who could help him win games and also help him lose some games early in his career.
But when you've got great speed and quickness and you play with a lot of emotion, sometimes you have to be idled down by the coaching staff. Louisville showing a little box press here, a 2-2-1 after the made field goal by Minor.
Hunter, GJ can't get it to fall. Cleared again by Greg Minor. There they are running the floor again, and Morton right on cue. Minor and Morton become more important as the defense concentrates on Cliff Rozier.
Exactly. And when you talk those 2 guys, they can handle it and both get out and fill the lanes extremely well.
Keith Legree picks up the first foul of the game for the Cardinals.
You know, you talk about Louisville and the fact that they've won 6 straight, and they seem to be fine-tuning their game for March Madness. Defensively, they've been outstanding, allowing only 40% field goal shooting in their last few ball games.
Williams, nice pass to Pop, who is fouled by Troy Smith. Matt Pop is a designated starter for this team. He only averages 9 minutes a game out of Kettering, Ohio. Now remember, Perry Clark had the posse a year ago, but because of the loss of Kim Lewis and some other injuries and attrition, he's had to put the posse on hold for a year. But Pop is one of the original Tulane players, and this is a way of honoring a senior that helped bring this program up from the depths of despair when Clark got here.
Well, you find a lot of coaches across the country looking to reward their senior players, and certainly the situation Perry Clark came into 4 years ago merits this guy having opportunities to play and start.
I think Perry also likes to get a little adrenaline off the bench. Doesn't mind having a few more athletic players coming in. Minor for three. Oh, Louisville, if they shoot this way from the perimeter, it could be a long night for Tulane. 5 points for Minor. 5 of the Cardinals' 9. They're out to a quick 8-point cushion. Reed for three. E.J. Hunter gets the offensive board for Tulane. Green. Matt Green.
Talking to Julius Smith, the assistant coach for the Green Wave, Matt Green is a guy who has to step up and have a very productive night for Tulane to have a shot here. But they want to trap you in those corners. You need to try to center the basketball.
Turnover. It'll go back to Tulane. First turnover of the game for Louisville. That's what he wants, a little organized chaos. And look at the breakdown through the years here. Magnificent job.
Tremendous improvement each season. But you know, with that progress and that success comes greater expectations, and you have to continue to meet those expectations at the major Division I level.
That first round win against St. John's meant a great deal to this program. There's a steal by Hunter. Numbers for Tulane. Louisville with an outstanding job getting back.
Very quick transitioning both ways. That time from offense to D to negate the break. You got pretty good spacing here, which means a ball handler should have an opportunity to beat his guy off the dribble, just like that. Pretty good take by Williams there to try to get into the heart of the defense and either get a shot for himself or find people after he's defending.
Dwayne Morton picks up the foul, and Matt Pop comes out of the game, and Carlin Hartman comes in. Now, don't be surprised if you don't see Matt Pop the rest of the way. There have been games when he played the first 3 or 4 minutes, and that would be it. Hunter. GJ with a three. Stands for Gary Jr.
Dialing in from long distance there, and that allows the Wave to get into whatever kind of pressure they want to. Here, pretty much a half-court trapping defense.
That's another turnover. Rozier claiming he was bumped by Green. This is a team, and you hate to use the pun, but they come at you in waves. They can be down 9-1, and then bingo. 2 or 3 transitions and turnovers. And a few more of those, and suddenly you're tied. 9-9 our score. Rozier. Green takes it down. Crum wanted a foul. Numbers to Hartman. You think he ignited this team when he got on the floor?
Exactly right. He's their second leading scorer. Number 3 glass eater.
Rozier ends the run, which was up to 10-0 for Tulane in the last 2 minutes. Out of bounds, last touch by Legree. So it's been a game of runs, and we're just to the first TV timeout.
Right to the corner of the half-court line, and Clifford Rozier is under the basket. There's Minor. Now watch this diagonal look. There's Clifford Rozier right there. And you've got a deuce. Nice find. The Wave slow getting back, and Rozier with the FedEx flush.
2 ties and a lead change already. And Rozier out of Bradenton, Florida, as you know, the transfer from North Carolina. A couple of outstanding transfers when you think about it this year in college basketball. Billy McCaffrey to Vanderbilt, and this young guy to Louisville. I mean, they will advance greatly individually as players for making those moves. You really can't argue with it. Reed.
Worked out for all of those players, and you talk Chris Lawson as well.
You bet. Oh, nice move to the hoop by Troy Smith. Rozier gets back to knock it away from Green. Louisville by 2, 13-11. Dribbled in too far. Now Williams with a 3-on-1 to Green.
One of the keys for the Wave is they must score off their defense, and they also have to do a job on their defensive backboard. But if they can get out and run, they can take advantage of their ability to finish on the break.
Rozier was out of bounds. 5 Louisville turnovers. Denny Crum telling Rozier, come up and help.
You got to come to the ball. You can't rest on your heels when you're going to attack pressure. The defense is quite aggressive as you look at the turnovers. Tulane comes in forcing 5 more turnovers a game than the opposition, than they commit rather. So nothing surprising there.
Pointer Williams off the front iron. Rozier clears. Keith Legree, sophomore from Statesboro, Georgia. First true point guard that Denny Crum has had in some time. Helped stabilize this offense for Louisville. There's the look to Minor. Right from Morton.
Well, you talk about Greg Minor. He is truly a stat sheet stuffer. He's either first, second, or third in every statistical category for the Cardinals.
Reed really was put in no man's land off that pass. And Rozier clears out, draws the foul, and gets the deuce.
Beautiful. Such an advantage to have a big guy that can catch it, pass it, and run the floor. Rozier with an excellent move to avoid the charge.
University of New Orleans, how many metropolitan cities can say they have 2 teams in the top 25, having their way down in Edinburgh, Texas? Chris Fowler will have more on all of these scores coming up at halftime. Contrasting styles from the lakefront down to old New Orleans at Tulane. Tulane, a pressing team, and Tim Floyd does it the old-fashioned way.
And just kind of grinds it out a little bit.
Half-court basketball with the emphasis on the D. Lavelvro Simmons is coming to the game, the outstanding freshman from Shreveport. There he is, right on cue for a tray. This kid is making a bid to become Tulane's 4th consecutive Metro Freshman of the Year. Remember the run that Perry Clark's mentor had at Georgia Tech with all those freshmen years?
That's right.
History can repeat. Rozier, another one. I'd say that's a stuff for the stat sheet. 21-16 Louisville. Williams forced that one. Not a good idea. Legree lost it. Saved it, though, beautifully to Smith.
Look at Rozier work that glass.
Loose ball. We've got a foul, a look in on Carlin Hartman as he reached and got caught. The size and the strength of the wing players of Louisville will be giving Perry Clark a lot of problems tonight.
All night long. I mean, their offense really starts, even though they're the best three-point shooting team in the conference, one of the best in the country. Their offense starts typically after they take the initial shot because they rebound from every position. I mean, Legree will go in there and get you a couple of boards.
There you see the three-point shooting you were talking about. Wisconsin, Green Bay, that's Dick Bennett's team leading the way in the Continent Conference. Williams off the steal, but again, Tulane one and done.
Oh,
that's a turnover.
turned it over, but you see his ability and willingness to find the open teammate. Just took a little bunny rabbit hop there. But the big fella, not only does he score and eat glass, but he also can pass. Poetry there, TB. How'd you like that?
I like that. Rozier has been everywhere, just perpetual motion. And again, lost by Louisville. They're unable to finish. But what's happening to Tulane is very scary for Perry Clark at this point.
Well, they're being run on. They'd like to do the running, forcing turnovers, getting points off their D. But Louisville, with a little full court pressure of their own and very active feet and hands, able to get some transition opportunities themselves. Both of these teams put points on the board. Both of them average north of 80 a game.
Akiba Perry is coming to the game for the first time. Number 34 in white, going down into the paint area. That's Hartman. He will outwork most players. I mean, he just does it with effort. 21-18. He is the heart and soul of this Tulane team.
Those are the kind of guys you like to have coming off your bench. Guys that give you a different look, bring you a different level of intensity and energy.
Morton. Oh, lights out from the corner. Morton with a three. 24-18, the junior from Louisville and Central High School.
Well, this Louisville team is a dangerous team with their ability to knock down the three.
Over and back. It'll go to Louisville. 11-13 remaining. I think Perry Clark would agree that Louisville is a team you don't want to see in March.
Eater in the conference. Here you see him working the defensive glass. Vice grips it, and when he gets it, consider it gotten.
One of your favorites.
Certainly, you look at him in the top 5 in the country in glass eating, but he gets 4 to 5 of those 12 boards on the offensive glass, and that brings back memories of yours truly.
Yes, I know it does. 24-18 our score, and Tulane gets an easy one. Williams.
Boy, if they can get points off their defense and compete on the glass, they've got an opportunity. Louisville, on the other hand, wants to make sure they minimize turnovers and opportunities in transition for the Green Wave.
Derwin Webb is coming to the game for the first time, along with Tick Rogers. Louisville with plenty of depth, similar styles. James Brewer has also come in for the first time. He's operating at the point.
The #1 career field goal percentage leader in three-point shooting is Brewer, so you've got to watch him behind that arc.
Hit a school record 8 three-pointers earlier this year against Oral Roberts.
Little 2-3 zone action, and they'll sporadically trap you out of this with the Green Wave. So you've got to handle the ball strongly and then do a lot of dribble penetration. You don't want to get yourself hemmed in on the corner along the baseline or sideline.
Shot clock down to 19 before Brewer heaves one. Out of bounds control to Louisville. It's the first time we've seen the half-court offense come into the fray.
We won't see a lot of that. Both of these teams, again, very high scoring. And because they're pretty good defensively, both of these teams have what I like to call spurt ability.
Brewer off the back iron. Simmons can really sky. Jumping jack rebounder off the offensive board. Reed. Oh, that's a whirling dervish as he made the baseline maneuver. Tulane quickly back with 4 unanswered to draw to within 2.
Nice job here to flash to the middle by Morton. Boy, with an attack out of that, you should get a shot. Good recovery by Tulane.
Green Wave will continue to gamble on the perimeter because of that. Once the ball is entered there, they're at a tremendous disadvantage. Morton now has 7. Rozier with 7 and Minor with 8. Tremendous balance here at the outset for the Cardinals.
They could hurt you in a lot of ways. Morton might be their deadliest shooter.
Reed lost his dribble. Tried to force it that time. Here's Rogers.
He had an opportunity to get the ball to the middle and took it all the way himself.
But if you blink, Pointer Williams will take it away.
That's right. You know, it's an interesting statistic I took a look at. A good steals to turnover ratio is anything close to 1. Anything north of 0.7 is a good steals to turnover ratio. And 3 guys on this team have that particular ratio. I mean, you look at Pointer Williams, he's at like 0.98. Actually, I mean, G.J. Hunter. Pointer Williams is at 0.81 steals to turnover. Kim Lewis was 1.2 for his career. So, you know they miss his defense and scoring.
Lost Lewis, of course, in the preseason NIT against Indiana. Sorely missed. It's amazing to think they have the record they have without him. Simmons on the fly. Nice idea to bring it back out.
GJ wants the 3.
Nakiba Perry stuffed by Rozier. A challenge by Green. Oh, a nice double hitch in midair. Paparo spots a foul. Prior to the shot, Nakiba Perry is guilty. That's his first foul.
The ability to manufacture a shot midstream. Matt Green to the rack. Through 2 Cardinals there, and the nice little double clutch off the window.
Hey, trying to decide.
Other than David Whitmore, the player of prominence returning to this team was Kim Lewis. And here, as you saw him coming down on that knee off the break against Indiana back in November.
Terrible loss. He most likely will get a medical red shirt as you see him awkwardly coming down on that left knee.
Most people believe that given the recruiting that Perry has done, with Kim Lewis coming back, this could pay tremendous dividends next year. Not that you'd wish an injury on Kim Lewis for today. They'd love to have him healthy, but they're in the running for Gerald Honeycutt, a celebrated player in Grambling, Louisiana. You have him to go along with the bulk of talent that's coming back, particularly given Kim Lewis. They could be very dangerous in the years that follow.
That's right.
Bad pass, another force by Tulane. Many of their turnovers have been unforced errors.
Well, they're looking for the home run pass instead of maybe a pass between the assist pass. Sometimes players have a tendency to want to get it all right now instead of just making the simpler pass that will lead to maybe a more fruitful one at the end.
Terry, Louisville has done a good job of getting the crowd really out of it tonight so far.
Well, that's one of the keys when you're on the road. You have to try to make the home court a fan-free environment with good tenacity and good solid play early.
This is like a volcano waiting to erupt in Fogelman Arena right now. You heard the collective sigh as they anticipated Pointer Williams getting them going. This is an emotional crowd, which frankly was not a tremendous basketball city prior to Perry Clark's arrival. So you really have to do something from an entertaining standpoint to get these people in it.
Well, they're learning quickly.
They are.
What it means to be crazy inside the gym.
A lot of credit goes to Perry Clark and the job that he's done in making basketball something special in New Orleans and here at Tulane. Great look from Hartman, but again, they can't convert inside. Brewer on the fly. Check that, Legree, and it's lost. Control to Pointer Williams. Keith Legree has come back into the game. He and Brewer both on the floor, and Brewer picks up the foul against Hartman.
There you see Brewer committed the foul, but Keith Legree on that last penetration needed to shoot the basketball. You penetrate with the idea that you're going to score, and then if defenders come, now you've got to be ready to shovel it off. Take a look, Pointer Williams to Green. Nice little bounce pass. That's the only way that pass gets to Hartman if it's put on the floor. Good catch and strong to the goal.
Carlin Hartman, if there's one deficiency, it's that his aggressive style has caused him some foul difficulty in some games. They really can't afford to lose any of their more athletic types on the floor against a team like Louisville. And Laveldro Simmons, who's coming in, is another one of those types of players that match up favorably against Louisville.
The point is well made and well taken.
Ryan Hopgood is in the game, 43 for the Cardinals. Nice move and a rejection by Green. He took that one out of the air. Tulane shooting for the lead on this possession. Crowd waiting with grand anticipation.
Nice spacing here. Again, if the ball gets to Williams.
Green for three. The Green Wave have the lead. 28-26, 5.5 remaining in the opening half. Oh, great look. Legree found Hopgood, junior from Oklahoma City. His first deuce to tie it at 28. We're at Fogelman Arena.
Great find. He's just going to look off the defenders here. See, Legree just looked off the defenders, and Hopgood gets an easy one. Well, that was a bullet pass with very little motion, showing you the strength of hands and forearms of Keith Legree.
We're at Fogelman Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana. The Metro Conference perhaps at stake. Louisville with a one-game lead over the defending champion Tulane Green Wave. Tim Brando, Clark Kellogg with you, and the foul inside as Anthony Reed was driving to the basket, drawing the foul from Hopgood. NCAA basketball continues on Saturday with Miami of Ohio against Illinois State, and number 16 Utah taking on the Rainbows of Hawaii at midnight. We'll have it for you at noon and when the clock strikes midnight on Saturday.
Well, interesting article, a very positive article in this morning's paper here about Anthony Reed, how he's worked to develop his jump shot, hoping to get a chance at the next level. There you see his team leading numbers.
Has been looking at videotape of Calbert Chaney, saying that he watches Chaney to see how he uses his screens in the Indiana offense, and then watching Jamal Mashburn for positioning in the Patino offense. Pretty smart kid.
Excellent testimonial to how players can get better simply by watching other players.
Hartman.
Well, he had a much easier one the first time.
Brewer on the loose. Lane leads it by one.
They're in the 2-3 zone. Again, they'll selectively trap out of this.
There's the help on Rozier, and it turns into a turnover.
See, as a big guy, when you catch it and you're going to be double and triple teamed, you can't let the ball get up above your head. You lose strength and leverage. You got to try to keep it between your chin and your chest so you've got some strength.
Perry Clark didn't like the hop skip that leads to another cities where what this league was all about. To that end, New Orleans fits beautifully. It is the largest city. This, however, is the smallest arena capacity, 3,600. And take a look at this. If you're the opposing team, when you come in, chances are you're going to dress at the hotel. Because when you go in, Clark, this is what you see for your locker room.
Well, I tell you what, Boston Garden's visiting locker room isn't much bigger than that. It's tight.
They are talking about a new facility here, and Evan White, who's the athletic director, is looking very much forward to getting that building underway, either on campus or off. They understand the importance of having it. Morton can't get it to fall. And there's Rozier with the follow. Sometimes when you look at the numbers on Louisville, their best offense is just throwing it up and letting the big guy go after it.
40% of their total rebounds are on the offensive board.
1/3 of Rozier's are off the offensive board, so he has a great deal to do with the team number. Reed, that's just tremendous defense by Minor.
He gives them everything, does Minor. Scoring, rebounding, defense, assists, steals. I mean, he just does it all.
Finger roll won't go, and Matt Green takes it out. Pointer Williams already with 7 assists back in the game with the t-shirt off.
Might have another one there.
Make it 8 for Matt Green as he knocks home his 10th point of the game, leading the Green Wave in scoring. Couple of runs and a back and forth game the last 5 minutes. Neither team really taking control.
Much as we expected. And on the road, you don't necessarily have to take control of the game. What you want to do is try to minimize the influence of the fans. And Louisville has done a nice job of that.
Troy Smith gets the loose ball and gives Louisville the lead.
You know, on the other hand, at home, you want to be able to fuel the fire of your fans. And because it's been back and forth, they haven't had any consistent momentum as far as the fans are concerned to really get into it and make this environment as tough as it can be.
Matt Green running that curl drew the foul from Troy Smith. There's some hockey coming your way tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern. Alexander Mogilny and Pat LaFontaine will be on display as he leads the Sabres National Hockey Night. Friday night, 7:30 Eastern time on ESPN. Make your plans to be here. Legree takes it away. Morton drives to the glass, but there again is Minor with the answer. Yet another Cardinal putback. 34-31 Louisville. Reed for 3.
Maybe a little quick. Try to move the defense before you launch up that perimeter jab.
Oh, that's a soft left-handed touch for Smith. Senior prepped at Fort Knox in Alexandria, Virginia. 36-31 Louisville. Smith has had an outstanding first half. He's 4 of 4 from the floor. And he checks out of the game. And Morton comes back in.
Well, solid effort by Smith.
The thing I've noticed in the first half for Louisville in controlling the game's tempo is simply getting back defensively, not allowing the transition game that Tulane so desperately needs.
And since rather early in the first half, they really haven't turned it over as much.
Green.
You know,
nice save.
It's easy to overlook a high-scoring team's defense. But Louisville playing pretty good defense here. I mean, they don't give you a lot of easy shots. Their transition from offense to defense is pretty good.
And remember this as Rozier picks up his foul. This is the 7th team foul. So it took all of the first half before Tulane got in the bonus. So the defense has been quality defense without giving up a lot of fouls.
That's right.
Anthony Reed at the strike.
When you look at Louisville, you look at their players, I mean, they are a confident team. I mean, you can just see it in them. Sure, they haven't just seized control, but they've been right there. And they should have close to the last shot here after these free throws. And should be able to go into the locker room with the lead at the half.
The Delta Faucet halftime report. Look at Arizona and Washington State, NC State, and number 24 Virginia. Game 1 here on Thursday night. Chris Fowler and Bill Raftery, the governor, back from State College, where he and I saw or witnessed perhaps the game of the year during the regular season.
How are you just souping that up for the game of the year? Why? Because you were there?
It was just a tremendous game with a lot of impact.
Yeah, it really was outstanding.
Simmons.
Just as we talk about how Louisville had not turned it over, boom, there's one and an easy finish at the end.
They're holding it for one, and the crowd is on their feet. And Perry Clark is on his tiptoes.
They don't know the clock. Legree, does he know the clock? I guess he does.
Oh, Rozier off the alley-oop. He has 11. And Louisville rides that adrenaline into the locker room for the man that's only lost in this building one time. Scooter McCrae by his side, who was here for 4 of those wins. We'll be back with more from New Orleans, the land of Mardi Gras, a little later. Let's get to Chris Fowler.
All right, Tippy, Mardi Gras starting.
Behind the zone defense. There's Perry Clark right there. He's going to be jumping up and down, waving, trying to communicate to his team. We need pressure on the ball, and we've got to see behind us. Now it's back and forth. That's Morton who has it back to Legree. Take a look at Legree here, but also take a look at Greg Minor right there setting a nice screen on Anthony Reed. And Legree is just waving and directing traffic, and all of that ends up with the hoop by Clifford Rozier to end the half and give Louisville a 3-point lead.
Rozier, by the way, has 5 of those 16 rebounds, and so many of them on the offensive end. Putback opportunities have been there for the Ville. The turnovers have also been there for them, and without them, Denny Crum's team would be leading by a large margin.
I'm sure that's the one thing that jumped out at the coaching staff for Louisville. 15 turnovers in the first half. That's what they average for a game normally.
Crum is recognizing the heat of the building. It's about 70 degrees outside. This tropical environment, and the Cardinals get the first hoop of the second half. Dwayne Morton, it was both he and Minor that really got Louisville out to the 9-1 lead early in the game.
Boy, that was a great feed by Greg Minor with the behind-the-back look.
Tulane trailing by 5, just underway second half. They're looking at Don Rutledge there, who will give the ball to T.J. Hunter. It was Don Rutledge that was involved in the controversial call against North Carolina Charlotte. An inadvertent whistle with a 3-point lead. Tulane controlling it, gave the ball back to UNCC. They ultimately got possession of the ball with 40 seconds left, sent it to overtime, and then won it in the overtime set. Don Rutledge, one of the better officials in the country, came back and said, hey, Perry, I missed it. It's all you can ask from an official when he makes a mistake.
Exactly.
Williams draws the foul from Minor.
Boy, Porter Williams is so active around the ball. There you see Don Rutledge, that you've got to squeeze it when you're around him. Clifford Rozier just lost it because he didn't get Porter Williams in his line of vision. And now he's at the free throw line looking to get 2 points for his team.
He had 8 dishes in the first half, Clark. He is 1 short of tying a school record for a single game. His career high is 9. He will bypass that for his career. Should he get 2 more in the second half, chances are that will happen. Coming into tonight's game, he was also only 5 steals short of a Tulane record. He had 62 coming in. Reach around against Matt Pop, who does open the second half of play. Greg Minor will trigger it in for Louisville. Rozier decides to take his man, took steps. Dick Paparo had it and made the call.
What you saw there was an example of a guy being uncomfortable going to his weak hand. He needed that extra step.
Just that quickly, Tulane turns it right back over again.
The right-handed guy is much more comfortable going to his right, planting off that left foot, so you get into a better rhythm. Rozier tried to go left, which means that right foot has to be your lead plant foot, which is more uncomfortable for a right-handed player. Well, you wouldn't know anything about that. You're a lefty.
And the loose ball controlled by Rozier. You notice that offensive sequence? They give a 1-4 set and take some time off the clock before initiating the offense. In effect, taking Tulane right out of its game and the crowd out of it as well. Now they'll push it. Reed slaps it out of there. Pop controls it. Just over 2 minutes gone from Fogelman Arena, and now Matt Pop is whistled for a foul. Got a little physical there between he and Dwayne Morton, and Perry Clark's Matt Pop got caught.
Getting to know each other. Good solid D. There's that chicken wing up high and out. Just good active play on the ball, and there it is right there. Matt Pop tried to give him a wing to the dome, and then finally just overzealous and picks up the foul. That's a pretty good call there, right on top of it.
Don Rutledge made the call.
That's one of the worst things you can have is somebody legally in your face defensively. I mean, it's very frustrating and annoying, and Pop just popped.
Rozier really wants it down along the blocks. Morton is fouled by Anthony Reed.
Well, I tell you what, that play there, I mean, Morton pretty mild-mannered, but you could tell he wanted to make something happen there offensively. And right now you can sense Louisville starting to seize control of this a little bit.
13-5 this year, 8-0 in the conference. And again, you look at the non-conference games they have. They go to Vegas this weekend, and then they take on Houston the following week. One of the better teams in the Southwest Conference.
That's right.
Denny Crum, the thing you have to really like about his view of the game is they only play the 12 conference games in the league. So he schedules more non-conference games in January and February because he wants his team to play every other day, which is what you do in the NCAA.
That's right. And then he wants them to see tough opponents.
Nice look to Green from Hartman. Carlin Hartman with a nice dish to Green.
Well, see, Tulane has been unable to sustain anything. Anytime they've made a good play and gotten the crowd into it, Louisville has come back with a counter punch.
Troy Smith. Boy, that's a good offensive board, which leads to that. Rozier draws yet another foul. Boy, he just stayed with it that time.
Nice find here out of the double team. See, this is the key pass out of the double team. You've beaten two guys already. Great save by Reed. And then Hartman finds Green to the cup with authority.
Rozier has produced the double-doubles throughout the course of the year. Had 22 points and 10 rebounds in Saturday's win at Freedom Hall over Southern Mississippi.
He's on his way to another double-double. He had 11 and 5 at the break. Now he's got 14 and 5.
Largest lead of the game now for either team, 45-38. And Williams was out of bounds. Gary Clark's team may be on the edge of destruction here because the tempo of the game has been with Louisville really throughout. Although they've committed turnovers, Tulane unable to convert.
Exactly. And Tulane committed 12 turnovers in that first half as well, so it was only +3 in the turnover category. And as you said, they weren't able to convert nearly as many of those as they would have liked to.
It's 17 and 16 now. Rozier rejected by Green. Minor. And a push-off against Smith. Troy Smith commits his third. Denny Crum may have to go to his bench, but that's not a problem. He has one. A very good one. Reed, skip pass to Hartman. Lavelbro Simmons.
Traffic rebound with authority by Rozier. I love his activity. For a guy that big, I mean, he's about 6'9", 6'10", well built, but extremely active, can really run, covers the floor well.
Morton. Ow! Rozier over the back. Paparo saw it. It'll go the other way, even though Special K really enjoyed it.
I almost got out of my seat. You can see it coming. Watch number 44. Get to the rack. Just couldn't turn it over.
Get him out of there. Special K loved it, wants it. We're likely to see it. Thank you. Cliff must win in the Metro for Tulane if they are to defend their title. from a season ago, because Louisville would have the next meeting on February 27th at home against Tulane. And look at the remaining schedule they have. Now, the 2 games that are non-conference games, and the Western Kentucky game also non-conference. But North Carolina, Charlotte, they've got in their own building. I mean, 5 of their next 8 games are at home.
Schedule certainly tilted in their favor.
Reed, too strong. The lead may be 7, but the game's tempo is at about a 14-point cushion for Louisville.
Boy, excellent point, Tim, because you know that they're going to use some clock now. They can shoot the 3-pointer, and they also bang you on the offensive glass now. So they start to wear you down a little bit. And when you don't make shots, when you have consecutive empty trips, that takes away your adrenaline and your emotional fuel. That lowers your fuel tank emotionally, and it keeps the fans out of it.
I think it's incumbent upon the fans to get in it without Tulane's help. I think they've got to pick them up.
You made the point earlier that it's only been 4 years that they've actually had, well, actually 2.5, 3 years that they've had competitive basketball. So they're still maybe not understanding that sometimes they've got to elevate their team. So maybe they'll listen to the tape of this game and learn from you what they need to do.
Simmons. Oh, a rainbow by the Velcro man, LaVelcro Simmons. 45-40, the Ville.
How many times does it happen, Tim? The crowd on the verge of getting into it, and something happens to get them back out of it.
Usually what happens is Louisville converts.
Exactly.
Morton for 3.
Rally record.
Yep.
And that's the sign of a confident team. That's what I meant when I talked about their confidence level. They've not wilted at all. Slowly, methodically getting control, not allowing the crowd to get into it at all.
Bill Raftery made the point at halftime. He likes what Tulane has done in finding the crease whenever they spread the floor. And again, having to spread it and play half court is not what they want.
They need easy hoops off their D.
Smith. Reed controls it. Anthony Reed needs to become a force in the second half. Oh, to Hartman. Pointer Williams with another Sunday best dish. There's a steal. Williams again. Solos off the back iron. Again, another conversion lost, and Smith gets it done on the other end for Louisville.
Well, you certainly don't need the ocean wave one-handed finger roll from your point guard when you're looking to get consecutive baskets and some momentum. That's a 4-point turnaround, too.
Anthony Reed threw up a brick.
Well, what happens, he's not getting shots in rhythm or in his most proficient range. I mean, he's the leading three-point shooter, but he's much more effective 16, 17 feet and in.
And again, getting it off the run rather than out of the half court.
Right.
Louisville again slowly taking the air out, initiating their offense with 15 seconds left on the shot clock.
Good spacing here. See, you've got the lane open for the flash, and then you've got three-point shooters.
Rozier takes the shot with 8 on the shot clock. I think neither one of us expected that tonight. Perry Clark wants a timeout and got it.
I think Pointer Williams may have twisted his left ankle. He's grimacing and holding it. Was holding it, rather. Take a look. That's Smith. A little incidental contact. See, legs get locked right there. See, Smith actually stepped on Pointer Williams' foot. And now he hollered there for the timeout, and you see Perry Clark signaling for it.
We will check on his status when we return. This is not good news for Tulane to Pointer Williams. And as soon as we can get his status, we'll pass it along to you. As you look at Kim Lewis, who had that fractured left tibia earlier in the year. They've already lost him. Pointer Williams runs the show and initiates so much of what Tulane likes to do.
Exactly. Here you take a look. That's Troy Smith and Pointer Williams banging incidental contact, and there you see the awkward stumble No foul called, and there shouldn't have been one called there.
So G.J. Hunter moves to the point, and he can run the show well. It's just the quickness that you lose and the opportunity it steals. Laveldro Simmons knocks one home. 50-44. Laveldro has 9, right on his average.
I like that young freshman. Nice, sweet, confident shooting stroke. And they'll need his point production here in the second half.
Many times you'll see after a very important injury to one of your star players, the rest of the team, and now the crowd with the impetus to pick their team up.
Certainly temporarily that can be the case.
Again, an offensive rebound for Minor. Boy, he and Morton and Smith have been so active along the wing area.
Well, long shots that are missed lead to long rebounds, and the Cardinals, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country.
There's Simmons again. Tie ball with the arrow to Tulane. You mentioned you liked him. There's another reason to like him.
Well, he plays with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy and emotion, and he's got a nice stroke to complement that emotion and energy.
Tim Floyd's team, an 18-point winner on the road in the Sun Belt Conference. It appears that...
And he's got the baggy shorts, too. See, check him out. Check out Velcro. Most guys that wear baggy shorts can hoop.
Yeah.
Most guys.
Yeah.
Well, about 8 out of 10 guys that wear the baggy shorts can really get it going.
If they get any lower, we'll hope for Velcro. Hunter for 3.
I think you got to find the guy who just made the last shot for you.
Makiba Perry knocks it in, and you may have seen in the top of your screen that Pointer Williams had his left ankle taped, is sitting right next to Ron Everhart, the assistant, and will be getting in the next dead ball, it would appear. Although Perry Clark may like the flow he's got right now. That's a foul as G.J. Hunter takes it to the basket with authority. There's Pointer.
Well, with the body warm and not having that ankle severely sprained, a little retaping is all that's needed now. Here you see G.J. Hunter rack to rack. He made up his mind right here. He was going to get to the goal and was able to draw the foul.
G.J. Hunter was an original posse member, and they've only lost one time since he got a starting job.
I think there's something like 30-6 with him in the starting lineup.
That's right.
8-7 when he doesn't.
His mother, Doris, is a secretary in the SMU athletic department.
See, this is one of those storms that you have to weather on the road in a tight ball game. You might be in control for a while, but you know eventually the home team's going to make a run.
Yep.
Now, how do you handle that? Are you like a palm tree? Do you bend and not break with the breeze, or do you wither? See, right now, the Cardinals on the verge of being stormed.
James Brewer is coming to the game, an outstanding shooter with another answer perhaps for Denny Crum, who to this point has always answered the Tulane rally. Brewer involved again. Loose ball out of bounds to Louisville.
See, to weather these kinds of storms, you must be patient while yet being aggressive. And that last pass that almost caused a turnover was a surrender pass. Minor was back on his heels. You've got to be patient, but you can't get on. You've got to still be aggressive in making your passes and getting to the basket.
Longtime assistant Jerry Jones, been with Denny Crum for so many years over there helping orchestrate the defense for Pointer Williams, who's come back into the game.
So you know that Tulane is jacked up now. They want to come up with a defensive stop. So you've got to put the ball on the floor and beat them to the basket and make them pay for their aggressiveness.
Brewer, the iron unkind, and Laveldro Simmons on the run to the other end. Makiba Perry may be guilty over the back this time. That's his second foul. Jim Herrick out to a quick lead. Boy, has he been upfront and honest about his feelings with the media out on the West Coast. and the alumni on the West Coast. Good. That's a nice look to Brewer. Too strong, though. And a foul against Carlin Hartman. It is a President's Day special coming up. Big Monday on ESPN begins with Richmond against George Washington, 4:30 Eastern time. Then we get to our usual trifecta. Connecticut at Syracuse. Then the Big Eight, Oklahoma State against Nebraska. And then on to the Big West, where Nevada takes on the University of Pacific. All of that on Big Monday on ESPN. James Brewer has gone to the line after the foul by Hartman. Boy, what numbers for Brewer at the stripe. Louisville's lead is 5, trying to withstand the Tulane run. They led by 3 at halftime. Lead was up to 9 moments ago. Laveldro Simmons again for 3. Missed badly, but Hopgood touched it last. It'll be controlled to the green wave. Laveldro Simmons asking Dick Paparo for a little help. He felt he was fouled on that shot. Sometimes finesse players just don't get that call. Got to be willing to go inside a few times if you're going to get that call on a three-point shot.
That's right. Louisville settling into the 2-3 zone. Obviously, you need good spacing. You got to penetrate the gaps. Now, you got to squeeze everything you can out top against the 2. Tough shot there by TJ.
Brewer again. Air ball. Hartman, quick outlet. G.J. Hunter. Now, shot selection on the break is not a problem for the Green Wave.
No, they know how to finish. And a long shot missed by Brewer. No defensive balance in the backcourt. G.J. Hunter gets the easy one.
And another answer by Morton. Boy, the M&M guys, Morton and Minor, have been there to finish tonight. Simmons, boy, Perry not ready for that pass. It was a good one, but on the reach, Keith Legree is caught. That's his second. Keith Legree out of Statesboro, Georgia, home of Georgia Southern and beautiful Eagle Creek, migrating over to Louisville to play his college basketball. His numbers are going to improve and improve, aren't they?
They certainly will. He's an outstanding, he's probably one of the more physical point guards that you'll find anywhere in the country. I mean, he's big, he's about 6'2", strong, thick hands, very physical point guard.
Even at 6'2", that ability to post up, and when you think of Louisville guards, you think of Wagner, Lancaster, Gordon, all guys that could post up their opposition. Perry. Akiba Perry with his 4th point. Tulane down 4. Less than 8 to play at Fogelman Arena, which is getting louder by the moment. Legree piercing into the lane. Won't fall. Matt Green clears. This is the area where Tulane has been guilty of poor shot selection.
Exactly. Now you've got to call the play and get a good shooter a good shot here. Yeah, I would think now that Louisville's man-to-man, maybe Pointer Williams tries to penetrate and create something for his team here. But you wonder about that ankle that he slightly sprained just a few possessions ago. Might not have the explosiveness, but he's got to get hopping to it now.
You see the shot clock down to 5. Oh, tried to bank it, wouldn't happen. And a foul against Anthony Reed.
Boy, you said it exactly as it's happened. Every time there's been an opportunity for Tulane to move further into that lead. They've come up with a poor shot. They've not gotten a good look, and you only get so many opportunities when you're trying to come back to really make a substantial run, and they've bombed out on their last 3 or 4 of them.
It's almost as if Perry Clark's team would be better off, even when they don't have the numbers, taking their chances with the transition opportunity, because once they pull back,
the quick hitting opportunity.
Once they pull back against Louisville anyway, I know his half-court offense has worked at times. In fact, Bill Raftery showed us at halftime where it worked.
Right.
But more times than not in the second half, they've really had some problems with shot selection.
Some of that credit probably needs to be given to the Louisville defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting back in time to force them into the half-court game. You recall in the St. John's game in the NCAA tournament last year, there were times Tulane's half-court offense had to work against Little Louis' team. It did often enough for them to get the win.
How about the Redmen leading the Big East this year, 8-3.
Boy, away from the basket, Troy Smith gets caught. His 4th foul. Not a good idea once the shot clock is whittled down to 20. And it's 1-and-1 time the rest of the way for both of these clubs. One of the great fishermen in college coaching. During the offseason, you're liable to see him on our Saturday morning shows. Mark Sosa's Saltwater Journal. I believe you'll see Denny Crum a few times. He can cast with the best of them.
Young man here, Anthony Reed, well below his scoring average.
Denny Crum wouldn't mind fishing for a W in the Metro tonight and taking command. He leads by 3.
For a quality, dependable, and affordable used car, stop in at Winton Auto Sales. We've served the transportation needs of our community for 10 years. Winton Auto Sales carries its own accounts. Easy financing arranged on the lot. So if buy here, pay here is for you, stop at Winton Auto Sales for your next used car. See why people say we're the best pay on the lot in town. Winton Auto Sales at the corner of Hamilton and Ash Tree.
Are you putting off having that broken windshield replaced because you just don't have the time to take it in? Well, Mel's Auto Glass will come to your home or work and replace it without any inconvenience to you. Call Mel's Auto Glass at 563-7771 for an estimate. Tell them where you want them to fix it, and they'll do everything, including billing your insurance direct. And Mel's Auto Glass can repair most chips and small cracks.
I'm Mel. Whether you're an individual, car dealer, body shop, used car lot, give us a call, 563-7771.
The puck drops here. National Hockey Night on ESPN. They were Soviet teammates until they tore through the Iron Curtain. Today, they're tearing up the NHL. Pavel Bure leads the Canucks against Alexander Mogilny and the Sabres. Friday on ESPN National Hockey Night.
A bad night for injuries. We talked about Kendrick Warren at halftime, out for the season for VCU. This is Everett Gray early in the Rebels game with San Jose State. Goes down hard. You see him clutching his tailbone. Just minutes ago, he was strapped to a stretcher and taken off to an area hospital. We'll keep you posted if we get further information. It would be a devastating loss for the Rebels. Tim?
Thank you, Chris. We have seen so many injuries this year, important injuries, many of them coming early in the season, not quite as many late in the year. That would be a devastating loss for Rolly Massimino. Denny Crum's club with a 3-point lead. I still get the feeling that we have a wire job ahead of us.
They're certainly in that neighborhood. But Louisville seems to be, even though they've been threatened a little bit, they've been able to answer every challenge.
Williams. Boy, that's a nice move by Williams. They wave off the basket. Don Rutledge spots the foul. Matt Green got the foul rather than Williams. Pointer nearly tied Cliff Rozier up, but he had the strength to take it up and then draw the foul.
14 points for Cliff Rozier tonight.
Well, he never really looked comfortable there.
No, he didn't.
Doesn't have a consistent free-shot routine, and I think that's critical when you're shooting free throws. Try to get into a habit of doing the same thing over and over.
Only 55% from the stripe. And Smith commits the foul. That's his 5th. He's done. That hurts them. Gives them that active body on the offensive boards that either claims the rebound or keeps it alive for Cliff Rozier.
Exactly. Another big body, too. Although Derwin Webb, who comes in to replace him, a 5th-year senior, is just as capable in terms of activity on the glass. Troy Smith had a very solid game. Big first half where he knocked down 8 points.
At one point, he was 4 of 4 from the floor. But again, Tulane unable to convert at the strike. So a minute has passed since our last time out. Nothing doing for either team on the offensive end.
Well, it's become a free throw shooting contest, and both of these teams are hovering in the low to mid 60s, which is a nice warm day down here, but not very much for free throw shooting.
Oh, that's a great move by Simmons. Got that arm in the passing lane to knock it away. Reed spots up for 3. Simmons keeps it alive and finds Reed in the lane. Oh, what a nice pass. And an easy deuce for Matt Green. Set up by Anthony Reed's pass after a missed shot. Foul underneath committed by Simmons. Derwin Webb driving to the basket.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what in fact happens if Louisville relinquishes the lead.
Yeah.
It's been a while since Tulane's been on the top side of the scoreboard.
Derwin Webb is a 70% free throw shooter. Wouldn't be a bad idea down the stretch, Clark, considering Rozier's problems at the line. If you're Tulane, just put him there. I mean, don't let him beat you inside.
Sure. Exactly. If, in fact, he's got a gimme, go ahead and foul him, and you might come out on top in the deal. Derwin Webb, a graduate student, heading to law school this fall. Quite impressive. Great athlete in Indianapolis at Lawrence North High School. Football and track stand out.
They've produced some tremendous basketball players at Lawrence North. Green on the wing, won't go. Hunter kept it alive this time. And we've got a push on Rozier. G.J. Hunter just would not stop going after it and brought about the 3rd personal against Clifford Rozier.
Persistence pays. G.J. just kept his nose right in there. Here you take a look. Long board. There's G.J. with the 1 effort, 2nd effort. Now there's the push by Rozier. Oftentimes, rebounds aren't gotten on the 1st effort, especially offensive board, just the 2nd and 3rd effort. And a lot of times your best rebounders are guys that can make a solid 2nd and 3rd effort after the ball. It may not be as high a jump as the initial one, but it has to be quick.
The numbers don't reflect the meaning to G.J. Hunter. He's one of those guys that you look up and you say, well, he did more than that. 58-56, 2-point game. Legree running the show. And again, they stack it. We expected this game to be in the 80s, high 80s, maybe low 90s. It's turning into a grinder, but one that's going to take it to the stretch. And Louisville's game plan has worked to that regard. A rare turnover by the Cardinals. The pass a little too strong. Denny Crum's team doing some things we don't. Chris, thank you. And the problems for Coach Mass have been on the road in the Big West this year. You see our score, 58-56. you think that Keith Legree is going to have to start taking some shots with a wide open area he's got.
Exactly. Tulane is really sloughing off inside, and if he would just squeeze 5 or 6 feet out at the top, he could have a 15 to 17-foot jump shot on ball reversal, only shooting 42% on the year and has struggled lately, so you can understand his confidence being a little shaky.
Perry Clark's plan to make certain that Rozier does not beat him, paying dividends here in the second half.
Exactly. I think Legree is going to have to be willing to step up and look at the basket. He's not even looked at the goal.
Tulane could tie or take the lead on this possession, and Green ties it. Our 6th tie of the game. Now, as you mentioned, how will Louisville respond once they're behind?
That's always the key when you've led most of the way.
Tulane will have that chance.
So you just got a deuce from Green. Go ahead and look at him again.
Denny Crum has decided to go small. He'll get James Brewer back in the game in the next dead ball.
I think he wants a reliable perimeter shooter out there, although Morton certainly is, as is Minor.
Oh, nice play by Minor. Got that hand up there, deflected it right into the hands of Legree.
See, look at all the space between Williams and Legree out top against this zone. Now see, if he squeezes in, he's got a shot.
Minor forced it and turned it over. We're tied at 58. For Perry Clark, it's a chance to get back in the race for the defense of his Metro Conference regular season championship. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left from Fogelman Arena. There have been 6 ties. Louisville has controlled the game's tempo and the lead most of the way, but that could change in this sequence. Laveldro Simmons is in the game again, and he's been very active on the offensive end, Clark.
Certainly has. He shoots it with a lot of confidence, and in a tight game like this, you need guys that are confident in their stroke. Certainly Simmons has shown that, as has Matt Green. They want to try to get it in to Reed, but he's been locked up pretty good. I think you've got to look to Green or Simmons.
Shot clock under 12. G.J. Hunter for 3. First lead since we were 5 minutes deep, and it's a 3-point cushion for the Green Wave. Timeout, Louisville. It's Mardi Gras Mambo time.
Dropping dimes. We're going to look at one of the 12 dimes that Porter Williams has dropped tonight. Penetration, finding GJ. Mark it up, baby. Let's go back and play D.
I just love it when you street talk.
And that is the word on the street. Dropping dimes, another way for saying assist.
1:40 remaining. That's a record for Pointer Williams. And he is going to continue to break a few as long as he plays in this Perry Clark system. Now, how does Louisville respond to losing the lead? Legree alley-oop, as it turns out, accidental or not, to Dwayne Morton.
Well, that didn't take very much time, so now Louisville just needs to defend without fouling.
Timeout called by Hunter after the double team.
Boy, I think that was a shot by Legree.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that was a Derek Wittenberg impression. Take a look at this. It looks like a shot. The rotation will tell you.
Look at how much room he's got to shoot it, too. Yeah, that was a shot.
Morton just wanted
to make sure.
Yeah.
He wanted to make sure. But he caught that thing before it got up around the goal.
Yeah.
Either way, though, the officials may have seen it as a pass. But that was big because they didn't take very much time off the clock in doing that.
Don't forget, on Saturday, college basketball continues on ESPN. Miami of Ohio taking on Illinois.
Well,
Denny Crum's team really playing a half-court style that aided them through most of this game, yet now they don't seem to be as in sync.
Yeah, and looking back, and hindsight is always a lot easier to use than foresight, but maybe they stepped off of the offensive pedal a little early. Here you see the vital statistics as we come down to the last minute and 21 here.
And remember, possession arrow to Louisville on a tie ball, and the team fouls. The next one will get both teams to the line for 2 rather than 1 and 1.
Well, if you're Louisville, all you need to do is defend now. You got to defend for 30 seconds, force a tough shot, don't let them get a 3, and then board the miss. If they make it at worst, as long as it's a 2-point field goal, you're down a triple.
A Metro must for Tulane, already down 1 game in the standings, and a favorable schedule in February for the Cardinals, who've won 6 straight, 11 of their last 12.
Boy, as a player, you'd like to be able to knock down the 3 to get rid of all the starch in the Cardinal shirt here.
Williams. Hunter took steps. And Carlin Hartman will quickly have to come into the game. 47 seconds are remaining. Hartman comes in for Simmons, the better defender. And a timeout taken by Louisville. Louisville has 1 remaining, and so does Tulane. 47 seconds are remaining here at Fogelman Arena, and a major question to be answered by Louisville off this timeout. Only 2 seconds the differential between the shot clock and the game clock, and given the style of play that Louisville has employed, you get the feeling they might hold it for the last shot, Clark, but usually when you're on the road, you take the first available shot.
That's typically the course of action, but there's only a 2-second differential, and they could try to go ahead and win it, because if they take a shot late in the shot clock, it's probably unlikely that Tulane would be able to get it and get a timeout and get it the other way. So I think you probably, if you get a good look early, certainly you got to take a look at it. If not, then go ahead and try to win it at the buzzer.
James Brewer is in the game, a perimeter shooter. There he is. Not there. Out of bounds. It belongs to Tulane. That is a big, big break. 31 seconds left now. They did take the first available shot, and it was their perimeter shooter, Brewer, that they had just inserted.
Well, he's an outstanding 3-point shooter, has been for his career. Got a pretty decent look at it, too. Just short-armed it.
Just getting it in can be tough, and here comes the pressure from the Cardinals. They could foul if they'd like, and they do. Laveldro Simmons. Prior to the shot, and Simmons will get to the stripe. And again, that is the 10th team foul, so Laveldro Simmons is guaranteed 2 rather than the 1 and 1.
And even at worst, it's a 3-point deficit for the Cardinals, and they'll get a chance to possibly tie it with the 3. You need these 2 to go down if you're Tulane, and then you just got to play good, smart, solid D and defend the 3-point line if you get both of them down. There's Perry Clark souping up his team.
This is not the kind of win that you draw up on the chalkboard if you're Perry Clark, but he'll take it. But he needs help from Simmons now, the freshman. Don't forget, coming up immediately following our game at SportsCenter, Gary Miller and Mike Tirico will have these stories and more. Shaq against Mourning, Ewing Olajuwon, a tale of the tall in the NBA. Now the important one for Simmons. This would give them a 3-point lead with 23 seconds left. Now Louisville can win it with a 3.
Yeah, I think you throw it inside, try to get something at the goal, and then kick it out if you don't have a good look, and maybe win it with the 3.
Minor stripped by Reed. What a defensive play by Anthony Reed. The outlet to Perry. He's fouled in a must-foul situation, and the roof is blowing off at Fogelman Arena. Perry Clark saying, wait a minute, guys, don't celebrate yet. Perry at the line. That's why he said don't celebrate. He'll take a timeout and remind them in the huddle. 4 seconds left. What a tremendous defensive stop by the senior from Monroe, Louisiana, Anthony Reed.
Well, here's Minor trying to get to the hole. Just an excellent play by Reed to flick it away at the last moment. The idea was good by Minor. The defensive play better by Reed. Well, it's been a gritty effort by Tulane, really. I mean, you look at the shooting percentages both ways. Neither team really got it going here in the second half, and big shots have been made when needed. Good, solid defense both ways.
Regardless of what happens, they'll need a 3, and Morton is their best. Minor and Brewer can all launch them. But you're right, gritty in the sense that there was never a flow that favored the home team, yet they had the grit and the wherewithal to make enough defensive plays to win an ugly game if in fact they hold on.
Well, they never categorize wins. The last time I've looked, it's just WL. They don't give them stars or grades. I mean, it's W and L, and so if they can hold on here, they'll be right back there in the conference's top spot, tied with this team.
A win would make them a 7-1 team, would drop Louisville to 8-1, but more importantly, the loss column and the opportunity to play an extra game in conference play before going to Freedom Hall on February 27th when the two meet again.
Now, does Louisville have another timeout?
Yes, Louisville has 1 timeout remaining. Tulane is exhausted there.
See, this is where you like to see the college guys be able to get the ball at half court if they called an immediate timeout.
Perry missed it. Still time. Timeout, Louisville.
They got 1 second.
That is time enough, particularly given Rozier's presence and the ability for a lob.
I'd like to see a rule where in the last minute or two, if you call a timeout, let's take it at half court. I mean, I know that's what they do at the next level, and I know this game likes to differentiate between the pro game, but I think that would be a rule that would add to the excitement. I mean, in a situation like this, you could have called the timeout immediately, got the ball at half court with 3 or 4 seconds left as opposed to just 1.
Don't forget, every week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's big, it's super. On the wings of that win against number 2 Kentucky, take on Tennessee at home in the barn. Make your plans to be with us as this man makes his plan for the 1 second that remains.
It's got to be something at the goal. They just don't have enough time. Typically, the guy who inbounds the ball comes open, but they don't have enough time to get it back to the guy taking it out. So they've got to set some type of back screen to get a shot at the goal on some type of alley-oop pass. So you've got 2 choices here defensively. Do you pressure you can pressure the ball, or you can use that extra man to double up the guy trying to receive the ball.
And they go outside to Morton. It's over. The Green Wave have a must-win in the Metro, and here come the Maniacs. This is only the 2nd defeat tasted by Denny Crum in 12 tries.
Well, here you take a look. Not a good look there for Morton, but with 1 second, if you don't get it at the basket, that's the only shot you get a chance to take.
Proof again that Tulane can beat you playing the aggressive 94-foot game or beat you with a half-court game as they did tonight.
Well, they had just enough big plays down the stretch to steal this one.
Our final score, 60-60 Tulane. For Clark Kellogg and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Tim Brando. Thanks for watching So Long from New Orleans. The party is on, and SportsCenter is next.